Um, I'm going to talk regarding the some brief uh, introduction about the embedded system and their classification and application. Something that really we need about this concept will be elaborated and uh, described in this lecture. Very brief about embedded systems say that embedded system is an electronic system that has the software and is embedded in computer hardware. It's programmer and non-programmable depending on the application, and this embedded system is defined as a way of working, organizing, and performing a single or multiple task according to the set of rules. In an embedded system, all the units assemble and work together uh, according to the program. Uh, uh, to the program. Something that maybe you will see in this photo, it's exactly embedded system is the coordination for the ADC, for the counter, for the some timer, for the filters, amplifier. We will see all these points later, but just keep it in your mind that counter and amplifier and all of them integrated together and make our embedded system. Um, Example of embedded system can be some numerous product such as microwave oven that you have, some washing machine, printers, automobiles, cameras, and etc. And these systems are use microprocessor or microcontrollers, or sometimes they will use the DSP. The difference between these two concepts of microcontrollers and microprocessor, we will see later on, and we will discuss regarding them. Uh, some important things or characteristics things about embedded system are speed, size, power, reliability, accuracy, and adaptability. What I mean that suppose you compare your mobile phone that last year you use and the mobile phone that uh, this day you are using them. You see the difference in speed. You will see the difference in size. You will see the difference in um, ability of that, and also sometimes you will see that now they change the Android version on that, and they will use some updated application and so on. Then all this point make the difference between your current mobile phone and the previous mobile phone that you have or you are using. Therefore, when any embedded system will perform the operation at high speed, it can be used for the real-time application. And you saw it now, so many new applications are developed year by year, even day by day, which shows some fantastic and new way to using your mobile phone. The size of system and even power consumption should be very low in some ideal embedded system, and then the system can be easily adaptable for the different situation. You saw this point before. Suppose you remember 4 years back how many times you charge your mobile phone, and now this time, these years, your new mobile phone. See and compare. See the battery consumption and the times that you will use the charger for your mobile phone. All of them are showing the power consumption of your system. In general, if I want to tell you what is an embedded system, I can tell you an embedded system is combination of computer hardware and software. As with any electronic system, this system also requires the hardware platform and is built with some microcontroller or microprocessor. As you can see in this figure, we have some input variable, we have some user interface, and also some link to other system and output variable. This is the figure which in rough we can say this is an embedded system, and it's something that we will show as the embedded system. Or in the other way, generally embedded system compromise with power supply, processor, memory, timer, and serial communication port and system application. Maybe some of these points just right now you don't know, but don't worry, we will discuss about them. Just my main aim is that you become familiar with the uh, word and some concept. Embedded system software, as previously I tell you, we have two parts. One is that hardware part, one is software part. The software part is written in high level language, and then it will be compiled to achieve some specific function within a non-volatile memory in the hardware. Embedded system software is designed to keep in view of three elements, and they are availability of the system memory and processor speed. When the system runs endlessly, there is the need to limit the power dissipation of events like run, stop, and wake up. These points all of us saw every day in our mobile phone, that it will run, it will stop, it will wake up like that, and we will see that how that system is working. Uh, about this software, we can say that embedded engineer, they have 7 steps and some success solution for that. Uh, Mainly, the language which people are using is C language, and you will see that first they start with pure C language, and then after that they go with some type of the language as the software which they call embedded system using C. After that, they go for the complex application. Then they go for advanced embedded application. Again, they're using C language. The next step for that was file handling application and network application and debugging, which again C language used. Then embedded network and RTOS application come to picture. And now we are in this stage that Linux uh, internals and developing device driver is that with the help of embedded Linux, which use the C language. If I want to tell you some example for embedded system, I can say that ATM machine that you are using, digital camera, microwaves oven, factory controllers, washing machine, your calculator, TV remote, traffic lights are the good example, or some digital watch, MP3 player, video games, printer, GPS, dishwasher, and so on. These are the good example for embedded system that we are using in our daily life. But what are the type of embedded system is that we can classify them into different types based on performance, functional requirements, and performance of microcontroller. Some graph like this we can have, which based on performance and functional requirements, they can be real time, they can be standalone, they can be networked, or they can be mobile. And based on performance of microcontroller, we can have some small scale, medium scale, and sophisticated part. Um, as I tell you, they can be classified in to four categories based on the performance, as we show, and they can be into three different parts based on performance of microcontroller, as we show in the previous lecture. But the standalone embedded systems do not require the host system like the computer, and they will work by itself. And they will take the inputs from input ports, either analog or digital, and processor, and calculates and converts the data. And they can give the resulting data through the connected device, which either controllers, drivers, and display the connected device. Some example of this standalone embedded system can be MP3 player or digital cameras, or it can be video games, consolates, or microwaves, oven, and temperature measurement system. If I want to tell you the part which related to the real-time embedded system, we can define them as a system which gives and requires the output in some particular times. This type of embedded system will follow the time deadlines for completion of the task and can be classified into the two types, such as hardware, soft and hard real-time systems. And the next category for the embedded system are these are the type of the embedded which are related to the network to access the resource. The connected networks for these parts can be LAN, WAN, or Internet, and it can be any wire or wireless system. This type of embedded system is fastest growing area which we will use in most of our application. And the embedded web server is type of the system wherein all embedded device are connected to a web server and accessed and controlled by the web browser. Example of this LAN network embedded is the home security system which we are using in that. The other category for the embedded system are mobile embedded system, which are used in the portable embedded device, something like MP3 player, mobile, and personal digital assistants. And the basic limitation of this device is limitation of the memory. Maybe some of you saw that your mobile phone has less memory, and that this is exactly the mobile embedded system example. The other category is the smallest scale embedded system, which in that designed with the 8 or 16-bit microcontrollers that may be even activated by the battery. And for developing the embedded software for small scale systems, the main programming tools are an editor, assembler, and some IDE. My friend, our talk for this lecture is exactly focused on this type of embedded system. We want to talk and introduce Arduino as the small scale embedded system with some new and more concept regarding that. The medium scale also embedded system are type of that which they use 16 or 30-bit, 32-bit microcontroller or DSP part. And this type of embedded system have both hardware and software complexity. For developing of this medium scale, we will use C language, C++, Java, Visual C, RTOS, and so on, and so many simulator. Somehow, maybe we can say Arduino also have this feature. We can then call it a small and medium scale embedded system. And the another part for embedded system is sophisticated embedded system, which this type of embedded have enormous hardware and software complexity. They are something like IPs, PLAs, and ASIPs, which are configurable processors. And they are used to cutting edge applications that need hardware and software co-design and components which have to assemble in the final system. That was till now the some category which related to the embedded system. Now we are going to see some more application for this. Some application for embedded system will be automobiles and telecommunication, some smart card, some satellite computer networks and digital consumer electronics, and some of them we will see here. And maybe if I want to have some more application and area of working of embedded system, I can tell you, suppose in automobiles and telecommunication, you will see the motor and cruise control system. You will see the body and engine safety. You will see the entertainment and multimedia in car. You will see the e-com and mobile access, mobile robotics in assembly line, wireless communication, mobile communicating and network, or in smart cards and satellites. Maybe you will see some security system, telephone and banking, defense and aerospace, and communication. Uh, in whole, we can say that embedded system, even in peripherals and computer networking, can be as display and monitors, can be an networking system, image processing system, networks, cards, and printer. And in the field of consumer electronic, we can saw them in digital camera, set-top box, high definition TVs, and DVD. If I want to summarize the points that I tell you today, I can say that this is all about the type of the embedded system. And we all know that these systems are extremely fabulous systems that play a vital role in many device requirements, industrial control system, and industrial instrumentation, home application um, of circuits complexity. These systems are used in our daily life in various systems that we have around, and we can use them, um, and really we are use them. What we are going to learn is that how to program them, how to have some application for them, and design the system based on this embedded system design. Okay, I bring this lecture from this lecture. Uh, I think it's okay for today because even we have some problem.